You ever notice how the worst betrayals don't come from enemies, but from the people who swore they'd die for you? That's a lesson I learned the hard way. One morning when my whole world stopped on a dime, right there in my own hallway, because of someone nobody thought twice about. And honestly, looking back, I still don't know if it was fate, dumb luck, or just the universe finally taking pity on me, but it started with a voice I almost ignored. Sir, please. I'm begging you, don't leave this house today. That's what I heard before I even made it to the door, keys in hand, my mind on a billionaire deal that couldn't wait. Standing in front of me, blocking my way, was Dupe, the housemaid. She was kneeling on the tile, hands clasped so tight her knuckles turned white, her eyes red like she'd been crying all night. I remember thinking, what the hell is this about? I was late. My phone was buzzing with calls from Toby, my business partner, my best friend since forever, and here's my maid having a meltdown about a dream. But she looked up, voice shaking, and said, "Please, sir, don't go. Something terrible will happen if you step out today." I should have laughed. I wanted to. But you know that feeling when something just grabs you by the throat? I can't explain it. She went on about her dream. Me, in the same suit, getting into my car, and then nothing but blood. People shouting my name. No return. And the weirdest thing was, it didn't sound like superstition or some trick for pity. It sounded real. So real I could feel it in my chest. That's about when Mariah, my wife, glided down the stairs, looking perfect as always, robe tied, makeup flawless, acting like she was on the cover of a magazine. She saw Dupe on the floor and just froze. "What's this about?" she snapped. I told her. Mariah scoffed. "This is why we need to let this girl go. She's turning into a prophet now." She was furious I'd even paused, but I swear to you, in that moment, I couldn't move. Something in Dupe's eyes kept me stuck. And then it hit me. That gut feeling you only get when your life's about to split in two. I put my keys down. "I'm not going," I said. And just like that, everything changed. Mariah was livid, calling me weak, saying I let the help manipulate me. But I couldn't shake it. And Dupe, for the first time, looked relieved. I sat there all morning, trying to quiet the storm in my head, wondering if I was losing it or if maybe, just maybe, she'd save me from something I couldn't see coming. Thing is, on paper, my life was golden. I had money, respect, Crestrock real estate with Toby, built from nothing, just the two of us hustling out of a shoebox office in Yaba. I had a wife everyone envied. People said we were the perfect couple, always matching, always smiling, always blessed. But the real story? I married Mariah for love, but she married me for comfort. She never wanted to be a partner, just the lady of the house. Didn't cook, didn't clean, hated maids. In 1 year, she fired 6. And every time I tried to say something, she'd just snap. "It's my house. I don't like them, they go." So I learned to stay out of it. Focused on business. The money was rolling in, and the house was mostly empty except for the latest maid, until Dupe came along. She didn't say much, didn't ask for anything. Quiet, hardworking, almost invisible, but not quite. She moved with this energy, like she was always listening, always watching. Even Mariah grudgingly admitted, "She's not as annoying as the last ones." That was about as high as praise got in my house. Then that morning happened. Instead of being at the office sealing a deal, I sat at home, heart pounding, phone lighting up. "You didn't show?" Toby barked when I finally picked up. I was about to lie, say I was sick, when the secretary called, voice shaking. My driver, Sean, had taken my car to get serviced, was in a brutal accident. Truck lost control on 3rd Mainland Bridge. My Lexus was totaled. They thought I was in it. For a second, I just sat there, the world spinning. If I hadn't listened to Dupe, I'd be dead. No doubt. When Mariah found out, she didn't even blink. "Accidents happen every day," she said, scrolling her phone. Not a single shiver. Not even fake concern. And that, God, that broke something in me I didn't know I still had. I told her, "I'm keeping the maid." She shot back, "She needs to go." "She saved my life," I said, but Mariah wouldn't hear it. She stormed off, the tension hanging thick in the air. Days passed, and nothing got easier. Mariah avoided me. Dupe kept to herself, and I found myself watching everyone, especially my wife. One evening, Dupe came to clear the table, and so quiet it was almost a whisper, said, "Sir, don't sign any documents this week." I froze. Why? I asked. She just shook her head. I had another dream. If you sign, everything will collapse. You'll lose your company, maybe end up in jail for something you didn't do. And I don't care how logical you are. When someone who's already saved your life twice says something like that, you listen. 2 days later, Toby showed up all loud and cheerful, cracking jokes. Let's get that Dubai deal signed, he said. But when I looked at the documents that night, the numbers were off. Accounts I didn't recognize. That warning from Dupe echoed in my head. Don't sign. So I didn't. Quietly, I asked a friend in finance to check it out, and what he found. Man, it was ugly. Toby, my so-called brother, had been stealing for years, diverting funds, setting up fake projects. He'd been plotting to take the whole company, and the Dubai deal was the final nail. While I was reeling from that, Mariah was plotting her own escape. She started arguing more, saying Dupe was a curse. One night, she called Toby. Yeah, my partner. Crying about how she couldn't stand living with me, how the plan was falling apart. Turns out, they'd been working together for years. She married me on Toby's word, both of them dreaming up ways to split my life, my money, and my trust wide open. The weekend after that, Mariah said she was visiting her sick dad. But something about her story felt off, so I had her followed. By 9 a.m., the update came in. She'd checked into a hotel, and less than an hour later, Toby joined her. Same room. That's when it all snapped into place. Every weird feeling, every cold shoulder, every warning from Dupe. That afternoon, I walked into that hotel room and caught them, plain as day. Mariah in a robe, Toby looking like a deer in headlights. I didn't yell, didn't throw a punch. I just looked at them, both of them, and said, I hope it was worth it. Then I walked out, quiet as a ghost. The divorce was quick. Mariah didn't even show up. Just signed whatever my lawyer sent over. She wanted peace, after trying to orchestrate my death and steal everything I'd built. Toby's betrayal hurt more, honestly, losing the friend I'd trusted with my life. And through it all, Dupe stayed. Cleaning, folding, existing on the edges, until one night she walked into the living room, calm as always, and said, I'm leaving tomorrow. That hit harder than I expected. You don't have to go, I told her. She just smiled, that same gentle smile, and said, I wasn't sent to stay. I was sent to save. And you know what? She was right. She was the only one who didn't want a thing from me, who saw the traps and actually cared enough to warn me, even when it could have cost her everything. She left quietly, and I was alone in my mansion, surrounded by reminders of every stupid, trusting decision I'd ever made. I took our wedding photo off the wall and smashed it, letting the glass cut into my palm. A reminder that sometimes the deepest cuts heal the strongest. I spent months rebuilding. Cleaned house at Crest Rock. Fired everyone who ever answered to Toby. Started over. More careful. More awake. Finally living like the man I wished I'd been before all the lies. When love found me again, it wasn't loud. It was quiet, kind, a woman who didn't care about money, just books and sunsets. I took it slow, learned to trust again, but never blindly. As for Dupe, last I heard, she moved on to another home, another family unraveling at the seams. That's just who she is, the overlooked, underestimated hero. The one person who saves you when nobody else is looking. So, tell me, where do you draw the line between loyalty and blindness? Would you risk it all on a gut feeling from someone the world ignores, or play it safe and lose everything anyway? Because in the end, maybe that's what justice really is, having the guts to trust the truth, no matter who delivers it. Drop your thoughts below. Who was right? Who was wrong? And where do you stand when loyalty and betrayal crash into each other?